And boy, there is a young lady. When I first heard her sing, I said, all that out of that little itty
On
bitty.
Sunday best.
I said, my God, my God, my God. I said, boy, you know how they say good things come in small packages?
Yes.
Well, I want you to know that good things come in small packages because there's an anointing that this next guest has. Robert O'Dean, who do we have with
It
us?
runs in her veins. She's from a very, very prayerful and anointed family, a grandfather that was a prophet, and just so many in her family. So she got it straight from the apple off the tree. So we thank God for this young lady. We are so excited to have her. You first saw her on Sunday Best, and her career took off, and God has taken her to heights unknown. And we're glad to have her here this morning on the Wake Up Morning Show. Ladies and gentlemen, you know who she is, the one and only Latice Crawford. Welcome to the Wake Up Morning Show.
Thank you for having me. How y'all doing?
We are blessed and highly favored, as the saints say.
Good,
Now,
good. That's what they
now,
used to say when I was younger too.
Yes.
now, I'm just gonna ask the question. You said, "How y'all doing? Where you from?"
I am from New York and I'm a New York girl. I've been born and raised here,
Yes.
but everybody says that I sound like a Southern girl. So I guess I have a Southern heart, but I am a New York girl full bred.
Okay, so
Sanctified from a
what
sanctified
what part of
family.
New York are you from?
I'm originally from the Bronx, New York. I live in Brooklyn, New York now. So
What you
yeah,
you from the boogie down?
from the boogie down.
My goodness, and I love me some Brooklyn, New York. So I'm just gonna ask you straight up because
Good.
I'm coming back again to visit family and just do some business out there. Tell
Come
me,
on.
I need to know, not the Sylvias and everything
I
else.
know where you're going.
Where do you go when you want some good Southern food?
So there's this place. Well, I'm a cook, so most of the time I'm gonna make it at home. But
Okay,
there's this place called Jacobs. It's actually right across the street from Sylvia's. It's more like a buffet style, type pack your own food type of place. Very unassuming, but when I tell you it's amazing. My other spot probably would be is it Velma's? I can't remember. I gotta remember her name. But I'll tell you who she is as soon as I can remember. But I normally go to Jacobs. That's my spot.
okay. So let me just ask the question. You from New York with a Southern soul. My question is, I always say people back east have to be really, really saved
Mm-hmm.
because in California, like today is sprinkling, so they don't
Yes.
call because it's sprinkling, they don't call a rainy day weather report.
Yes.
They done added extra police officers.
Sprinkling.
They got signs out saying slow down,
Help us,
drive
Lord.
safely. Some people have called into work because it's sprinkling outside. But y'all go to everything. It can be sleet, snow. Y'all hop
Yeah.
on subways and everything else. So tell me how was it growing up in New York, especially from the boogie down?
It was, I think you don't really have an appreciation for New York until you leave for a little while. So for me when I was younger, it was like, oh, this is just where I live. I didn't realize how much was here, how much here was here to do, how
Mhm.
much was here to experience. It wasn't until after Sunday Best when I like moved to Atlanta for a short stint that I
Mhm.
was like, man, I missed the little corner of bodegas and you could get up and get something to eat any time of night or go to a store or
Mhm.
just if you went to down to Times Square, it was always lights, you know what I mean? So it was real dark when I was living in Atlanta for those 3 years, a certain time of night. But here, it's always something to do, always something open. Yeah, like it just snowed last night, and you still saw people outside and everything. But it's because we have the equipment, here they expect that it's going to be snow and that it's going to be bad, so we have the equipment that's needed to handle it.
No. I just want to say I personally have a beef because I was in New York one time and I had on my heavy winter California coat that was like a windbreaker. But help me with this. I saw a young lady and she had on her little skirt and her heels and her stockings and just a little cute coat around the top portion. And she was just walking legs out and everything like it was a summer day. How do y'all do that?
I think some people have some different blood because for me, I'm gonna put a coat on. But it's also because, like I said, everything is so accessible here. Like if you needed a taxi, you could catch one every other block. If you're in
Wow.
the city, the train. So it's like you may be outside,
Mhm.
but you're not having to be outside, but for so long before you can find some kind of shelter. You know what I'm
Now,
saying? So yeah, that's probably why she probably was going to the club, so
okay.
she was gonna
Now
be warm soon.
the last time I was there, I was getting out on the taxi, and I almost made a mistake that probably would have cost me my life. Is that get out on the curb side, but I
Uh-oh.
got out of the taxi on the other side, not
Oh no,
realizing that there was scooters and everything else
Traffic.
rolling down. I'm
yes.
thinking that there's a space in between, but no, that's a bike lane, and
That's a
and
bite. They will take you out of here.
and wait a minute, and I felt when the bike went past, I felt a little, psh, and at that moment I didn't even get mad. I started thanking Jesus. I said,
I'm
Lord,
trying to tell you.
right then and there.
For your
See, if
protection.
if you if you live in New York in some certain cities, you know how to pray because there's so much
Listen,
things that are
Wow.
going on.
so many things that could take you out of here.
Yes. Now, growing up in New York, period, with the Hezekiah Walkers, the Timothy Wrights, the Figueroas, the Institutional Church of God in Christ, I mean, the list goes on. Bettina, Pennon, it's the culture of that music aspect. Let's talk about it because it had to have some major influence on you going to church, to concerts, and seeing these people.
Yeah, it's so funny because I always tell people that New York is probably one of the only places that you're not famous. It's like when you come to New York, you have so many people here, with, like you said, so much great talent. So when we were younger, going to the concerts and going to different things, a lot of my family grew up with a lot of these people. I grew up with a lot of these people.
Hmm.
So they were uncle this and auntie that and cousin this, So it was just a big, like church service, you know what I mean? For us, big old revival, when we went to Hezekiah Walker's church, whatever, there was no funniness or nobody acting like they were a star. We all would just get up there and just sing. I remember my cousin's choir would go out to Philly and we go fellowship with Ty Tribbett. And you know what I mean? Some,
Wow.
we all grew up together. We were all teenagers, you know what I mean, together. Ty and, some other people that I know. We all grew up together, so we remember when he first started and was pulling GA together, and that's when it was the big choir,
Hmm.
you know. But it was an amazing experience, definitely something you never forget. And it definitely has the influence. Just I think the biggest influence that I've taken from it is just tough skin,
Hmm.
in the industry, and just being unique, in whatever I create. And just having, like I said, just a drive, you know what I mean,
Hmm.
that other people may. Like I said, New York is pretty much open all day. If you go to a New York concert, you're gonna be in there till probably 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's gonna start late. They're gonna tell you it start at 7, and then they're gonna start till about 10, 11, and you're gonna be in there all night.
And y'all go to
So
work. And y'all get up and
and
go to work.
you still gonna get up and go to work. You still gonna get up and go to school, and you're gonna have a good time. You better not fall asleep in that class.
Wow.
So I'm going to ask for those folks that many people know you
Hmm.
and they love you, but there might be some folks that might just be trying to get to know you. So who is Sister Crawford? Give us who your mama and what's your pedigree? What you about? You single, married, got 10 kids. Well, I know you can cook because you just said you could cook.
Right.
Tell us a little bit more so that that the listeners could get to know you just a little bit better, so they can feel like when they see you, be like, "Hey, girl, how you do?"
He is so funny. Most people would know me from Sunday Best season 2.
Hmm.
I sang Peace Be Still. I know I look a lot different. I done
Yeah.
got a lot older.
Yeah.
Okay, got some hair now because I ain't had that when I was on the show.
Right.
I'm a little bit fluffier than I was on the show, but that's not your business to worry about. I might need to stay away from the cornbread, but that's not your business
Come
to
on,
worry
New
about. That's
York.
my business.
Right.
Amen.
You worry about yourself.
Right. Come
Amen.
on through, church.
I, I am a mother. I have a 14-year-old son. So I am a mother, singer, songwriter, used to model, actress, now life coach. I've been outside. I've been doing a lot of stuff. I got a few albums. You might know some of them. The first one was Latice Crawford. The second one was Diary of a Church Girl. This last one is called The Cure.
Hmm.
So you may have heard me, even if you didn't see me. Songs like Amazing, Choose Me, There. So yeah, you may have heard me even if you didn't see me.
Man, you done made the folks made the brothers all excited. Ooh, I'm gonna get in her DM. She didn't say she had a husband. So
Yeah,
so so
that man of mine will slide you right on out.
Come on. She's sanctified. Don't come up with her with no foolishness.
so uh, let me ask you this question. Uh, one of my, and I'm not gonna get emotional, but one of my mentors, friend, business partner for many years, James Jazzy Jordan. I know that you work with him. He was working with you. How was that experience?
Um, Jazzy is a very tough subject for me to talk about. He was a very, very good friend of mine and mentor. I mean, I think in an age of so much accessible information that people can just grab and get, there are some things you just keep sacred.
Yes.
And so when you know that you are going to get emotional and people would love to screenshot that and put that up, you use wisdom.
Yes. Yes.
You move along. Jazzy was great. He was a wonderful, wonderful man, brilliant in what he does, and I loved him dearly. And I'm gonna
Yes.
stop right there because I felt the
Yes.
choke up. So I'm gonna
Yes.
stop right
Yes.
there.
We feel it here too, to be honest. Yes.
Oh yes.
Yes. So, from your experience of Sunday Best, what provoked you to go? Because you don't seem like a type that would go to a competition.
You are so right. You have discernment. Come on, prophet.
Yeah.
Because the way that I was not trying to, I didn't even want to sing as a profession. I did sing. It was something that I couldn't help but to do, but I didn't want to sing. I don't want to say I was a shy girl, but I was very reserved. I don't like being outside. When I have to be out there, cool. But having the spotlight on me, having people be able to comment, on
Hmm.
me, that is a very, like, ooh,
Yeah.
because I am New York, and once upon a time I'll be trying to fight.
Yep.
So
Yes.
that was not something that I was looking forward to doing. But my mother actually, so my late mother actually said, I found this thing online. Why don't you go, and do the competition? And I don't know what made me say okay. I was just like, all right. I think it was more so probably to get people to leave me alone about singing. It's like, oh, if you told you model, or if you do this, you play basketball, and so it was one of those things. You sing, so you're supposed to be a singer. My younger sister actually said to me, like, just make it to the top three and then get sent home. And oddly enough, that's what happened. It's not what I tried to make happen,
Right.
but it is what happened. But yeah, I was never going to go to Sunday Best. My mother actually suggested it, and to get them to leave me alone about it, I went, and here we are.
That was a setup
So
by God.
Yes, it
now,
was.
um, I'm just gonna be real with you. Can I just be real with you?
Just be real.
Okay. Uh, you have a certain walk when you take the stage. Where did that walk come from? Because the walk said, "Oh Lord, she about ready to do this thing." Where did the walk come from?
I think my two legs. I don't know. I wish I could say.
You know,
She,
I always tease great singers
right.
because there's several different walks. There's the humble, oh God, just let me get to there and I'm gonna be okay. And then there's the one that says, okay, I know I got this one, so I'm kind of like prancing, like Tiffany Haddish said when she pranced. And then there's those that just walk and they walk so elegantly in. You be like, what's she gonna do? What's she gonna do? So when you opened up your mouth the first time I heard you, I was like, well, all right now. I like the
She got that
I
sanctified
like the
rasp.
yeah, I like
Woo.
the whole style of it. So I'm
Yes.
gonna ask you the question: who styled you for Sunday Best? Because I said, oh my.
Um, I will go back to the walk question. A lot of that was just more so trying to make sure I didn't fall.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna, be real
Right.
and tell the truth. We were walking, up and down those stairs. We were tired. A lot of us weren't getting a lot of sleep.
Hmm.
Our show recorded in 2 weeks. So
Wow.
as you can imagine, we were doing all these shows, sometimes two, a day, but that's right after our rehearsal. We were exhausted. And so, my biggest thing was don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. So a lot of it was me. I wasn't necessarily trying to be graceful. I was trying not to trip over cords. I was
Right.
trying to make sure I didn't fall. But I think a lot of it was like, hey, this is what you do every Sunday
Hmm.
at church.
Hmm.
These people are the congregation.
Hmm.
So just walk and just do and just minister. It's not about, for me, it wasn't about winning. It wasn't about trying to impress anybody. It was really just go and deliver what it is that you know that you do. Go and deliver what it is that you know that you have.
Right.
As far as the styling goes, I want to say we only had a stylist for a short amount of time on the show, and I didn't get to know her well, but I was very, very instrumental in what I wanted to wear. I am very much um, involved in my image
Your
and
brand.
everything that I do and in my branding. And at times it gets me in trouble. At times it's said people have said, "Oh, she's difficult to work with." Not so much because I'm yelling and screaming at people because that's not my style,
Hmm.
but more so because I am very boisterous about what I wear
Come on.
and what I'm gonna put on. A lot of people see me and think, "Oh, she's skinny, got a little shape." I'm a little black in some areas,
Right.
so they feel like, "Oh, okay, well, we're gonna put this on her." And
Right.
for me, it's like, no, I'm still gonna represent God.
Come
I
on.
like fashion, I like this, but I'm gonna wear this.
Hmm.
This is how my makeup is gonna look. This is how I want my hair to look. When I was on Sunday Best, they wanted to, give me this long, long, long weave. And I was like, no, I don't want that. You know what I mean? And it was gonna be red. And I was like, what y'all
Red.
gonna do is make me look like Little Mermaid. I'm not
Right.
doing that.
Right.
I want this shortcut. This is how I came here,
Hmm.
and this is what I want. And like I said, sometimes it bites me in the butt, but it has helped, to kind of secure the look of
Right.
what Latice Crawford is and what that Latice Crawford brand is. So yeah.
So I like everything that you said. I said to myself, boy, she probably gave some people some clutch my pearls moment when they thought she was just gonna be like, oh, okay, whatever you say, whatever you like. And you're like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, hold on, wait a minute, you done forgot one thing. I am from the boogie down Bronx. Don't you just give me anything. No, I am not going. You see this? I already knew what I wanted. Now y'all follow suit. God bless you.
But Yolanda is the same way. Yolanda Adams. They try to box
Right.
her and have her do the same thing, and she makes it adamant that she is
Right.
creative control of everything she does. So when we see her on TV, trust me, she wasn't
Yolanda
told
has
what to
had a
do.
say so in that.
Yes.
I think a lot of people, you know, when they saw me, it was very much quickly like said, "Oh, let's make her a Barbie."
Right.
And I'm still Latice, from round the way. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
Hmm.
Jenny from the block. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I
Right.
still
I
wanted to make
need a
sure that that
roundabout
was,
girl.
that was seen, that people didn't think that, I was some conceited, girl that was all about. I'm the first person to get on the floor and roll around and be laughing. I have a whole gown on and I'm laughing and crying. I love to laugh. I love to have fun.
Right.
I love to talk to people. Anybody who knows me knows, oh, she'll stop and she'll talk and we'll stand there. You know what I mean? Forever. I'm the last one to leave a concert. I'm like, no, let me stay to the end because I want to talk to the people. Like,
Right.
I'm that, kind of person just in general. And so I wanted to make sure that the picture that was being painted of me was still somebody that was approachable, still somebody that people can, talk to. And then, like I said, I've been dressing myself for 43 years. I will now, but I was dressing myself for 20 something years back then. I know what
Right.
I like. I knew what I wanted to be,
Hmm.
and I wanted to be fair. I think, like I said, when you get into this industry, you can get very caught up in
Yes,
people
ma'am.
opening doors for you and
Yes,
just
ma'am.
doing everything for you. You have to find something that keeps you grounded. So I was very adamant about, I'm not wearing all these designers and expensive stuff. I want for when people see the clothes that I have on, I can post it up and they can go and access it. They
Come
can
on.
go and get it if they want to wear it. And people are like, oh, that's I'm gonna tell you, it had nothing to do with spirituality or trying to be deep. It
Right.
was just like, listen, I don't want to have my people out here spending money for something that I wouldn't spend money on,
For
that I got
yourself.
because of a status.
Right.
I want people to be able to for what I do and what I have to be accessible, so
Hmm.
that people, if I'm uplifting you with my music but then depressing you because you can't afford my wardrobe, then have I really done it? Now I got to make more songs.
That's true. That's true.
Now I'm gonna give you this
That's
now.
good.
Listen to the preface of this before
This is good.
you answer. So growing up, drop dead gorgeous.
Oh
How
wow, thank you.
how how did you make sure that people took you serious as a true businesswoman in this industry and did not take advantage of quote unquote your gorgeousness, but respected you as a businesswoman?
Thank you, one, for asking that question. And thank you for the compliment. I do appreciate that. But thank you for asking that question. No one has ever asked me that. And that has probably been one of the hardest things that I've had to battle. And is that people just sometimes don't think that I'm smart.
Wow.
or that I've read my contract well. I pride myself on education more than I ever do on a look. You know what I mean?
Right.
I classify myself to be a very intelligent person. I am certified in psychology, cognitive behavioral therapy, neuro linguistic programming, nutrition, narcissistic personality disorder, emotional intelligence. I'm certified in a lot of areas,
Hmm.
and people do not automatically assume
Hmm.
that I'm intelligent enough to call you out on your stuff.
Come on.
And so that has been a very difficult thing for me, as a woman, as a black woman, and then,
In this industry.
as a person that they may deem has pretty problems,
Hmm.
and again, a lot of times me speaking up for myself has been seen as me being, uppity, or rude, or something that a man could say if he's like, oh, I don't really like that. If I say it,
Hmm.
it feels a little different, especially when
Exactly.
I'm speaking to people of power or when I'm
Hmm.
speaking to a man who may not be as secure
Hmm.
in his manhood, but I
Hmm.
do it anyway.
Right.
And I will say that it has not allowed me to probably reach the place that I probably could in my career, but I could look at myself in the mirror and I'm okay with that, and so yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've stood on to make people respect me is to make sure that I show up. I show up on time. I show up knowledgeable. I show up informed. I give the best that I possibly can. It doesn't matter, if I agreed to $5 or five that, what I mean, whatever it is,
Hmm.
you're gonna get the best out of Latice Crawford. I try to make sure that I always go and that I look, the part,
Yes.
whatever the part is that I need to be. And like I said, that I'm informed enough to be able to be a part of whatever it is that I'm asked to do. And so, gotta, of course, work a little harder, work a little smarter. But I'm up for the challenge. Yeah.
Wow. Go ahead,
I will
sister.
say
Go
this
ahead.
to you. Dr. Jordan and I had many conversations about you.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that that was my brother. So
Yeah.
you, whatever you need, we're still here. And
Thank
we're
you.
still going to hold that up. Robert and I and the team here, from radio to music to everything, we
Thank you.
appreciate your candor. We
Hmm.
appreciate who you are in the industry. And I love when people underestimate God's gifting. And I know for a fact that you are underestimated, but a highly progressive and highly delivered artist
Hmm.
when
Wow.
it comes to the music that you produce and that you give in your ministry. So we're godly proud of what God is getting ready to do in your overflow in this
Hmm.
season.
Right.
And I want you just to be encouraged that as God begins to elevate you, all you're going to do is be able to point back at it wasn't me, but it was God
Yes.
because of the fact
100%.
that you did not compromise, you
No.
did not sell your soul to be something that God never called you to be.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
It's very important, because people don't realize that the gospel music industry is not owned by gospel people. This industry is owned by a lot of people in high places, and a lot
That's
of them
right.
are demonic. A lot of them
That's right.
are just
Money driven.
money driven, power
That's right.
driven. And that's why it shocks me that Kanye would say the things he said about the Jews, because everybody knows the industry is of Hollywood and everything is owned by Jewish people. I
Oh
mean, so
yes.
we pray for him because you get to talk and people disappear, and we pray seriously. People don't really
For
realize
real.
how this industry is. Everybody
How it
wants to
works.
be
That's
in the
right.
forefront, but you have to know that only what you do, all you young artists and people aspiring to be models and singers and producers, only what you do for Christ will last. And if God promised you something, you best to bet He's going to come through.
This is
So,
why I tell artists all the time, you have to make sure that you are reading your contract. You cannot be so, wowed
Hmm.
by what, the first few lines. You
Hmm.
see the money, you see the advances, you see the things. You have not done. You can't just lean on your lawyers and your team. You have to know how to read these contracts so that you are not stuck in them for life. You know
Yes,
what
sir.
I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
You thankfully enough, I had Donald Lawrence as a mentor, even after Sunday Best. and he would walk me through, these things like, hey, make sure you don't sign this, make sure you do this, make sure
Wow.
you read that, make sure you read that.
Wow.
So I learned how to read the fine print. I learned how to red line a contract. Like, no, 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 here, let's add this in, let's take this out.
Hmm.
And so thankfully, I've never had to be stuck in a contract. Most of my contracts were one albums, and I was able to leave, after that. But you have to make sure that you also understand that when you sign a contract with somebody, you are both in contract with each other.
Yes,
No
ma'am.
one can own you when you sign a contract because they have an obligation and you have an obligation. So make sure you know what their obligation is so you can hold them to it.
And that's important because when many people get on these, The Voice, American Idol, Sunday Best, they don't realize some of these contracts are not really in the favor of the artist if they
That's
look
right.
at the dotted lines. Because we
That's
we
right.
talked to Alexis Spikes a lot, and
Yeah.
she went through a lot, but she's like you, a
Yeah.
boss. She's doing her own thing now, thank
Oh
God.
yeah, that's my
But the
girl.
road wasn't as always easy
Yeah.
first starting out because after Sunday Best, you're kind of thrown out to just fend for yourself and make it work.
Yeah, but like I said, that's if you're not really looking at your contract. Like I said, every contract has a clause in there that benefits you, but you have to know how to read it to know
Hmm.
what it is. Like I
Hmm.
said, no, there even if when I'm on a label, the label has a responsibility to promote my record and to do this and to do that, to spend a certain amount to make sure my record reaches a certain, place and
Hmm.
different things. But a lot of things we can't enforce because we don't know. So we just think I'm just signed to them and nothing's happening, nothing's doing. I've
Hmm.
been able to hold, again, this is stuff that gets me in trouble, and Jazzy used to laugh at me all the time. But I could go to Jazzy and hold him accountable. Jazzy, I didn't see my record get to this, da da da
Right,
da. Well, Latice, well, it says right here in
right,
this line, in
right,
clause, and he would go, you read it. Yeah, I read it. I know
right,
what's in there.
right.
And you have to know what's in there that benefits you. And if it's not being met, now you can hold them accountable. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna ask you this question because it just came in my mind. When he said Alexis Spikes, Latice Crawford. If you were to add a third young lady to the "Don't Mess with Us because we can fight" tour, who would be the third person you would add? Because we know Alexis has hands,
Oh,
and we
unless
know
she's
that you
she
got
don't
some
play.
skill set. Now, who would be that third person from the New York area that you would add to "Don't Mess with Us because we got
Or
hands"
in
tour?
general,
In general, let me see, because a lot of people think the louder ones are the ones that fight, and really they don't.
they're not.
They're more the calm ones. I'm trying to think, who would be someone that I would say probably maybe Corinne Hawthorne.
Okay.
She got a little spice to her, a little snap to her. I love Corinne. And she's
Louisiana.
got that youthfulness to her, where Corinne may not, I don't know if she throws hands or not, but Corinne definitely is a gatherer with her
Yeah.
words.
Yeah.
And she's very sarcastic, but the girl is quick on her feet.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
very quick on her
She's like me.
feet.
Ooh, that would be a good tour right there. The three ladies, one mic, we got hands tour. So tell me this: what's coming up next for you? We got the cure up, but what's coming up next with you? Tell me what's going on. How's your child
We got
doing?
hands.
All of the good stuff. Tell us all of that.
So, two great things. I am definitely looking to re-release Peace Be Still. It's a record I never released
Oh,
after Sunday
good.
Best, and people have been asking for it for years. And the reason why I didn't do it before was because, I don't feel like I had it. I don't feel like I had peace at that time. I try
Hmm.
to be very authentic
Hmm.
to my audience. And for a long time, both of my parents passed very close together. My
Wow.
father, 2017. 2 months later, my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer
Jesus.
and died at the top of 2020. And so these last number of years have been a lot,
Yes.
for me emotionally and mentally. And if I
Jesus.
don't feel like I'm a safe space for people,
Hmm.
that I could harm them if I,
Hmm.
put something out,
Hmm.
then I try to refrain. And so now I'm in a really great space,
Hmm.
in my life. God has been really, really gracious to me and to my mental and emotional health.
Hmm.
And so now I'm like, let's give them peace because I have peace. Now I can offer that to them. Also, my life coaching company is called Whole Life
Hmm.
LMC. And I've been doing a program called the Floor Plan. And so I'm planning to release that. I'm not sure in exactly what way
Hmm.
yet, but stay tuned. I thought that was a great addition to the ministry that I'm already
Oh,
doing. I
yes.
feel like, the church is always saying that it's a clinic, but I've been seeing a lot of people going there and leaving the same. And I
Yes,
feel like
ma'am.
when you go to the doctor, you have an expectation that you will leave differently, that you will leave with some kind of instruction to heal.
Yes.
And so I wanted to be able to be that Monday through Saturday, things for them until they can get to Sunday.
Yes.
And I've seen that most churches don't have a mental or emotional wellness area. We have the singles ministry, we've got everything else, but most of the things that we find ourselves in sin with normally stem from mental and emotional a poor
Trauma.
mental and emotional space.
Hmm.
If you got the girl who's promiscuous, it's probably because she may have some daddy issues or something else.
Come on.
So I think that we have to not only focus on the spirit man, but we do have to focus on the mental and emotional well-being
Yes, ma'am.
of our members. Mhm.
Now, tell me about this book that's supposed to be birthed.
A lot of people have been speaking it over me. It was not something that I saw for myself, but I definitely see it in the works now. There is a story to share. Like everybody, has a story, but I definitely want for anything that I've gone through in life to help the next, set of people. My company is more about relationship. I'm not a relationship guru. I say a better you before a new boo. I
Hmm.
ain't trying to get you a man or a girl, but I
Right.
am trying to help you to learn how to connect with people better. You know what I mean? And how to really be a good cook in your kitchen, and know how to blend all of who you are. A lot of us, we just want to be standalone salt. And it's
Hmm.
like, well, you got to mix that with some garlic, honey. Mix
Come
it
on.
with some pepper
Come
and
on.
some
Some
other things,
paprika.
that
Right.
you got to mix, in there to make it a good blend for the other people that are coming
Now,
into your life. And so, in some kind of way, I'm sure that book will have something to do with
A
that.
one woman show too. I see a one woman show
Yeah.
where she gets a chance to sing and talk to people, question and answers, because
Yeah.
we have some mental issues in the church and we can't dance on
Oh,
them
yeah.
anymore. We can't
Oh,
speak in
yeah.
tongue over them anymore. They're killing us literally.
Oh,
Suicide is on a
yes.
high ratio in the
Oh, yes.
body of
In the
Christ.
body of, yes,
And
in the
we
body.
got to
That's right.
tear those layers down in order for God to do some things. Her and Lisa McClendon is doing the same thing. Lisa
exactly.
Oh,
McClendon,
wow.
she just got a degree for I think psychology, and she's dealing with
Wow,
the
wow, wow,
wholeness
wow.
as well.
Now, I want to say this because this is probably the most important question that I'm going to ask of you today. Will we see the short hairdo come back? We had to ask that question.
That's her signature.
I think I'm in a very different place in my
Okay.
life, now. I'm a place of growth. My
Hmm.
hair is normally a reflection of where I am. When I first initially cut my hair, and I don't know if many people know this, but it was because I ran into a woman in the airport who was I had the short curly hair at that point, but it
Yep.
was still kind of, lengthy. And I'd run into her, and one, she was a white woman, so you kind of normally typically expect to see them with longer hair, but she
Hmm.
had a hat on and kind of sparse hair, in the front, and she was complimenting my bravery for me wearing this shorter style. And so we started talking, and I was asking her story, and she was telling me, that she had just went through double breast cancer,
Jesus.
and had lost her husband, lost her job, lost
Jesus.
her, kids were mad. It was a lot going on with her,
Jesus.
and I'm like, you complimenting me on my bravery for a choice that I made
Hmm.
to, cut my hair to, like I said, still where there's still some inches.
Hmm.
And here you are having to walk around with a hat and a wig. No, you are brave. So I said, when I get home, I'm going to shave my hair off. And I guess she thought I was joking. I've never found the woman. Again, I've told this story many times, and I've hoped that she would have come forward, but I haven't found. I'm hoping she's still here,
Hmm.
with us, because she was older when I met her. But I didn't know that later on down the line that would be my story with my own mother. Not breast cancer. My mother had uterine cancer, but um, that would be my own story, my mother, and her losing. My mother had long hair down her back, and had to shave it. And I
Jesus.
remember the day when she was looking in the mirror because I was shaving her head, and she was like, "I'm ugly." And I said, "Now hold on for a second, because we look exactly alike, and I
Right.
ain't ugly." I
Come
said,
on.
"So."
Come on.
I said, "If I ain't ugly, you ain't ugly."
Right.
And so that was a moment, for her to even
Yes.
find beauty and not find it in her hair,
Wow.
you know. And so it was a very, 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 very impactful moment with her, And so, like I said, I didn't know it wanted to be in my story, but now I'm on the healing side, and I don't want to necessarily think about it in a way that is sad. It's no longer a fashion. It was a fashion statement for me then to say you're not your hair. You know what I mean? That you are so many other things. Let people see your face. Now it's not that I'm hiding my face, but it is to say I'm growing and I'm
Yes.
changing and I'm moving forward. So I'm not sure. I can't tell you that,
Girl,
but we'll
P-
see.
you so deep. We're gonna need some scuba gear to
It's
get with you. I like that.
she's really peace be still now.
Yes,
This is
yes.
really the time for peace be still. This is
It really
this
is.
this
It
is
really,
and
really
Vanessa
is.
Bell is going to love it because
Oh,
it's
that's
it's
my
like a
girl.
resurge in her ministry. It's like she has a
Yeah.
brand new um like career. I mean, God is, and her new album is phenomenal. So
Vanessa Bell cannot fail. She cannot miss
come
in
on,
my book. I
come,
loved her
come
since
on.
the Amen days. Like
Oh,
she cannot fail.
So you've got
no,
to record this. You got to record
hold
this. This is
on.
the right season for it.
Hold on. I got a
Yeah.
beef with her.
Well,
I got a beef with Vanessa
do
because
you and I know beef with my friend? That's my
first
buddy.
of all, I got a
Her and
beef
I are
with her
very close.
because it don't make no sense that she is as pretty as she is and
I
she
mean,
older
And
than
she's
all of us.
70.
That's
come
what I'm like
on.
saying. I went up to her and I said, Vanessa, give me some of that juice you drinking.
When she came to San Diego.
And I
Yes.
mean, skin just good. Just, I mean, yeah,
And her
yeah,
voice, I'm telling you, this new album, y'all, you guys got to get it. It is
yeah.
absolutely phenomenal. And he and her will be honored in the Gospel Music Hall of Fame in September.
Um,
So he'll be honored as well with Vanessa.
listen, congratulations to you.
Well, thank you. But back to you now. I'm really, really excited about this, and
Me
I have to
too.
say this. And we do a
Come on,
ton
you
of
guys.
interviews, but I'm very excited to see what God is getting ready to do next with you.
You got to bring her to
And
San
also
Diego.
to every time Robert gives me these assignments of who I have to bring to San Diego on a yearly
Sorry.
basis, and I'm up to like 30 that I have to bring.
With
which
God, all
is-
things are possible. Hallelujah. If we're going to talk about it, we got to be about it.
and this you hold Mr. Robert accountable because he will then get it on the schedule so that we can get you here on the West Coast. If you are coming to the West Coast, like if you're going to LA, whatever, let us know in advance. So what we do is a piggyback,
Right.
so that we
Yes,
make
sir.
it into a little tour. We'll call the people up in Oakland
Come
and,
Yeah.
on.
and everything.
Los Angeles,
so that you
Pasadena.
so that you can make it one stop and get about 4 or 5 hits in
Right.
different
Come
cities.
on.
And
Right.
so
Come on.
we your guys when it comes down to that. Robert will give you all my contact information, but we want you to know that we're godly proud of you.
Yes.
We're excited about what's coming up. We want to be your station to continue to show you love and to make it a safe space.
And we're media based, Sound Exchange, heard in 71 countries. So God has been faithful and he's been good to us.
Yes, sir. Wow. Yes, sir. Wow.
So I want you to give us your final statement. I want you to introduce this song, and we're gonna play it for the people because everybody's looking at us like
One thing,
y'all enjoy this interview.
Doctor, one more thing. Tell Shirley Dove we love her. Used
Yeah.
to be in San Diego on The Voices.
Yeah.
That's her auntie.
Wow.
That's my auntie.
She lives in
Yeah.
California
My
still.
baby sister.
She's still in California.
Yes, she
Yeah.
is.
Right.
But also tell people how they can connect with you too.
You guys can find me by looking for Latice Crawford. There is no R. It's invisible and silent. Latice Crawford. Make sure you go and look for me on all digital outlets. I'm there. You can look for The Cure.
All right. Okay. Final words and introduce yourself.
I had a great time. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
You caught her off guard.
I'm like, once you stop asking me questions, now I got to do it for myself.
Right.
Well, I want
This
you
is
to
a
know
joint
that
venture.
this is the incomparable Latice
Latice Crawford, yes.
Crawford. I always got to put that. Yeah, I'd have messed up everybody's
Because you
name.
think about Latrice
Yeah.
Pace.
Yeah.
You think about Latrice Pace.
Let me get it. Latice. Did I say it right?
Yes,
this time?
Latice.
Latice Crawford.
Yes.
The song is called "The Cure" right here on Stellar Award winning station GOD Radio 1.
.com.